In this video, I'm going to show you how one really clever entrepreneur was able to borrow some traffic from somebody else's website, a giant website, and she was able to take their traffic, and I'll be honest, it's a little bit black hat the way she did it, but I'm going to show you how to do this in a white hat way and how she cashed in and made $200,000 in revenue, and I think got 2,000 buyers buy her products and services. I'll show you how she did it. Then I'm going to show you a totally white hat way to do this. The beauty of this strategy is that just about anyone can do this. You do not need to be an expert at getting traffic. You do not need to be an expert at building a business. Literally anyone can follow these simple instructions, cash in, and get tons of traffic for free. Oh, by the way, I have a little bonus we're going to do towards the end of this video. So watch all the way to the end. We'll do a quick interview of somebody who I taught this method already. They put it to use and they've already cashed in. So if you want to hear a real world example of how you take this really awesome strategy and turn it into money. So with that, let's get into it. Now, like usual, I have a slide deck and a presentation with notes, resources, and links. If you'd like to download your copy of this deck so you can get access to all of those things, it's free. We don't charge anything for it. All you got to do is become a free Ingeniosity subscriber. More information about that will be in the description below or in the comments below. Just become a free subscriber and we will give you the deck totally free. Now, of course, this is how she made $200,000 borrowing traffic, and that is Steph Smith, the story of internet pipes. Okay, so this story actually comes courtesy of the newsletter Startup Spells, and they're pretty cool. So I'll put a link in the deck if you want to go subscribe to that. It's a marketing newsletter, and they do case studies of different business models. So you can check that out. And this case study was about a brand called Internet Pipes. So Internet Pipes covers these, and this episode was about Steph Smith, who is an entrepreneur. And what she does is she sells digital products. She has a training course called Internet Pipes, and she wanted to sell a lot of that. She makes a lot of money selling it, but she didn't always. When she first started out, she listed this on a site called Gumroad. You might be familiar with that. It's a place you can list courses and info products and things for sale. You know, it wasn't really making a lot of money, but then she did this really clever trick. It's actually a strategy that I have been teaching quite for some time now. I have a student who I've taught that to, will be coming on, and it's somebody you may have heard from before. So we'll see a little surprise guest coming on at the end of this video who's also done this. But what Steph did, she sold the product at a steep discount to her first buyers. And then after that, she kept increasing the price until she got it up to $500. And oh, by the way, she got 2,000 paying members. Okay, so that's a lot of sales, over 2,000 sales coming to her business. Now, the beauty of this is she leveraged Gumroad. Gumroad has a lot of traffic, a lot of authority, and she listed her course for sale there, right? But she did something that is a little bit unconventional, and this is the tweak. This is the real secret that I want to focus in on quite a bit, and that's what she did with giving discounts. A lot of people will list products and services and sell them on different places all over the internet. Gumroad is an example of one. There are many others. So Gumroad, you can have a course or a training or digital products, list them on Gumroad, and Gumroad will help you sell them. Gumroad collects the money, they take care of the fulfillment and the sales, and then they give you a cut of those sales. Gumroad has a lot of traffic, and there are many other marketplaces like Gumroad. Another example of this would be a marketplace called Etsy. You might have heard this. On Etsy, they sell all kinds of things, from handmade goods and jewelry and things like that, to digital products that you can download. Many people didn't know that you actually can sell digital products on Etsy. And there are many other marketplaces like these that have massive amounts of traffic, millions and millions and millions of visitors on tap, just wanting to buy stuff. So you can step in front of them. But what everybody does is they'll list their thing for sale on these marketplaces, and then they just sort of kick up their heels and wait, and they hope that they make sales. Here's the magic. In your listing, she said that she had a coupon code. So the course, $500. But if you want a big discount off of that course, here's a link to go claim your coupon. You click that link, you go to her website, fill out the form, And guess what happens? She captures you on her mailing list. She just sent you straight to a discounted version. So she was grabbing Gumroad's traffic, getting a link to come over and buy the discounted version from her directly, which is clever, but technically against the terms of service of Gumroad. I'm surprised she's gotten away with it to such a large degree. What I recommend is to do it the white hat way, the ethical way, the way that Gumroad and other sites don't mind. That is, send them to your website, still ask them for their name and email, give them a coupon code that they can then go back to Gumroad and buy it with that discount there. Give them either a link to a discounted version or a coupon code, and we'll be talking to somebody in just a couple of moments that is going to talk about how they did that with Etsy as the other platform. And on Etsy, again, you can sell handmade goods. Also, digital products can be sold there. Gumroad and Etsy are just two examples of dozens and dozens of big sites with lots of traffic that you can do this with. So you borrow their traffic and you borrow all the authority that they have, tap into it to build your list, give a discount, and they go back to the original site to complete the sales transaction. So you don't break the rules of the original site, so they're not going to get mad at you and ban you. You still get the subscriber, and you can sell them more and more and more things as you build a relationship with them. And many times what most people do is they'll go on Etsy and they'll list a piece of jewelry or some handmade thing or a digital file to download or a template. They'll sell that on Etsy. Etsy sends the traffic. The buyer buys the thing. Etsy gives them the thing, and the transaction is over. Well, you don't even get the buyer. You don't even have the buyer at all. But when you send them to your website, you get to extract their name and email and get them on your list before you send them back. Okay, you got to send them back. Otherwise, you're technically breaking that site's terms of service, and you might get thrown off and banned. Now, if you're willing to risk the ban, like apparently Steph does, then go for it. You can just send them over to your site, and you can siphon off and do the transaction on your own website. But I advise to send them back to complete the original transaction where you got them from. And then make all of your money on the back end. Every business that I've ever had that has made lots and lots of money had a back end, it's called, which is what you sell them after the first sale. The biggest battle is getting that first sale, but then you sell them more and more stuff after that first sale. That's where the big money is made. This gives you a way to tap into that traffic, make that first initial sale using these massive websites, and then build the relationship and sell lots more stuff on the back end. We find a high authority website, directory, or other site where we can list products or services for sale. Then we send a link. We put the link literally right in our listing. We just say, go to this page to get a coupon code. You literally just take the link right out of your browser, copy it, and paste it into your listing and say, go here to get a discount. Collect their email and send them back to either a discounted version of the product or to a coupon or with a coupon code they can use on that product. And here are examples. So we've got Etsy as a prime example. WAP is another one. If you're not familiar with that, that's actually a really interesting story of how they built that business, WAP. There's also Product Hunt, School, and a lot more. That's basically how this business model works. All right, and so I happen to have somebody with me right now, which is the channel's very own producer, Nick, who is sitting off to my side here. So, producer Nick, audience.
Hey.
There you go. You've always heard his disembodied voice off camera.
Yeah, I'm not a ghost anymore. I actually have a corporeal form.
This is like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I talked to you about this strategy. And so some of you might not know, producer Nick had a very lucrative e-commerce business that he built some time ago. It did really well, selling all different kinds of, the brand was selling jewelry, but also sort of hand goods and like sort of household goods and other things. So a really cool brand that you built. But I remember at one point we were talking about how it was a shame that you didn't get your customer list.
Yeah.
Right. And so he implemented this strategy. And so how did that go? Like what happened?
Yeah. So this was, I guess, my first ever, like, quote unquote, legit business.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, there were a lot of things I didn't know that I now know.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was I didn't know anything about backend, recurring customers, having a list to hit, having recurring revenue, things like that. And I would make a sale
mm-hmm.
on one of these marketplaces, and then I would just never communicate with the customer ever again.
Yeah. Well, and you were still getting repeat buyers. That was the thing.
Just
too,
unintentionally.
Yeah. So they would buy a product from him on a marketplace like Etsy or Amazon or wherever they got his product from. And then they would intentionally seek him out to come buy again. But he had no way to actually make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't collecting emails. I didn't have a pixel or anything like that. And it was split mostly between Etsy and Amazon. Amazon is funny.
I wouldn't do this strategy on Amazon for selling products there. But on Etsy, you did it. And so what happened?
With Etsy, it's fine. So what I did in the description of all my listings, I put a link and it says, go to this link and you get a coupon code. They go to my website and it's just a form. I didn't go crazy with optimizing the landing page or anything. It's just an opt-in form. They fill out the form and then they get emailed a coupon code, which only works on Etsy. So they have to go back to Etsy and use the coupon code. But I collected, I'm not running this business anymore, but by the time we were done, I collected a few thousand emails.
And those are buyer emails, just to be clear, too. So to think about the difference between people that join a freebie newsletter or a free list versus a buyer list. A buyer list is at least 10 times as valuable as a traditional subscriber list. And so he had built a few thousand people who were getting out their credit cards and buying products from him on this list. And so then all you'd have to do is you decide you want to sell a bunch of one product. Yeah, we've got extra product in stock, and just fire off an email, right?
It's so convenient having a list. It's like a wallet, basically.
I got to use that line. So having an email list is like having an extra wallet.
Yeah. Well, remember during Q4, we basically made like 60% of our revenue during Christmas time, but we'd always have a problem where we had a crisis like every year because we didn't have enough inventory because we had a crazy supply chain and it would take like 30 days for some of the stuff to arrive, and we didn't plan inventory on time, and so it'd be like October and we're like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, so you'd have like some products you'd be almost running out, and then others you'd have extra for.
Yeah, and so sometimes there'd be kind of like a liquidity crunch. So what we would do, the list made it so much easy. It's like I need an extra $1,500 to get this material. I would just hit the list, run a sale, and over the weekend I'd collect, and I'd have the money to, solve that liquidity crisis. It made like business expenses really easy. But some people, it's like they use it like a personal wallet. They're like, I want to do XYZ. I want to go on vacation next week. Let me hit the list. And like, they don't even make their own offer. They just go on like ClickBank.
Well, I know people that's how they get their cars. They're like, oh, yeah. I want a new car. I'll just go to my list.
All right. I need a deposit on my apartment I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
Let me hit my list.
Yeah, well, that's really clever because I know a lot of businesses really struggle with this idea. Physical product businesses can be very challenging because of inventory.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have to go out and get big credit lines or put things on their credit cards. And instead, you had the list so that you could go to generate that cash. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess anyone is interested in e-commerce, Steph, with the case study we showed earlier, she has a digital product. But if you're doing like physical e-commerce style products, I mean, it's a must to be collecting and actually
you've got to have your buyer list. Yeah.
For like 70% of the duration of that business, I was just running the business on hard mode.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we live and learn,
good
right?
practice.
We live and learn, right? So
yeah.
But the moral of the story is this is an awesome strategy, and he's a real world example of it working. So you can tap into the authority and the traffic that these marketplaces have in an ethical way, borrow their traffic, build your own buyer list in the process, and then still help that marketplace, right? So the thing that makes this cool and ethical is you send them back and you still do business in that marketplace so that they still get the sale. And again, you don't have to sell jewelry or physical products to make this work. Our case study is a digital product business, the earlier one, selling digital product like I do. And by the way, the tool that producer Nick used is the same tool that all of my customers get for free. So if whether you're an owner of Commission Engine, my PushButton AI business, or any of our products where we help you with your website hosting, it's our email service is what he uses. So it's the email service I give to all of our customers is exactly what producer Nick used to pull this off. So anybody who is a customer of mine can use this strategy And it's the same tools that Nick used. Well, I think with that, we're going to wrap up this segment. And I want to remind you, what should they do?
You got to subscribe.
All right.
You got to like. And you definitely got to comment.
There you go. So let us know in the comments below if e-commerce is something that's interesting to you. Would you like to learn how to sell physical products on markets?
I love to talk about e-com.
Yeah.
I have a bunch I could talk about.
So I've got a guy on tap who's been there, done that. He actually started his e-commerce business in high school. You had no marketing experience. You just saw me doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And he just went off and built his own business as a high school student.
Yeah.
Selling physical products.
$500,000 in sales.
Yeah.
The duration of the business. So.
Not too bad
for
a side hustle from high school. If you'd like to learn more about e-commerce and how to make money selling physical products, he's done a lot of it. So from selling on Amazon to other marketplaces to selling on his own website, so we can talk a lot more about that on the channel. If you're interested, just let me know in the comments. Make sure, again, like the video if you got some value. Give us a subscription, and we'll be helping you a lot more build your business in our next video. Thanks for tuning in. And for now, what will we say?
Bye for now.
Bye, everybody. You may or may not know, I have an AI tool that's a company called PushButton AI that helps people build course businesses. It builds the whole business, bottom to top. It helps you do the research to pick the niche market, helps you figure out what topics you should write about, what your course should be about, what the lessons should be about. It outlines the lessons. It writes the whole thing. It creates your sales page. It creates your page to get leads to subscribe to your business. It even writes your email sequence. It does audiobooks, video trainings, and a whole lot more. You just answer 2 questions and you hit a button, and it does it all. If you're interested in that, certainly you can book a demo to see it for yourself. You'll see with your own eyes. We're often running webinars and other trainings as well. So I'll drop links to either our webinar or our demos down below so you can check it out and see if it's something for you. But I found that most people get really overwhelmed and frustrated with the technical stuff. So that's why we created PushButton AI. If you're looking for a tool, we'll just do it for you. And it'll just handle the technical stuff. So when it comes to like setting up your web hosting, registering a domain name, setting up your email marketing, we even include a complete, fully functional email marketing platform that you can log into and email all of your customers and subscribers. It's all included. And all of the tech setup is done by the AI. If you want that, then definitely schedule your demo. You can get a demo from us by going to pushbutton.ai/demo. Now, at the time of recording this video, PushButton AI is not publicly for sale, but if you book a demo, they'll show you the technology, and if it makes sense, if it's something that can really help you, they'll invite you into our early access program. But what they'll do first is show you the technology. They'll talk about what kind of a course you might want to make. They'll talk about your business plans. They'll help guide you on what the right choices are for creating your first course business. And then if it makes sense, if it's the right tool for you, they'll invite you into the early access program. But check out the demo. It's mind-blowing. Again, that's at pushbutton.ai/demo. That's pushbutton.ai/demo.